Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Idle Zeros, and welcome back to the Star Alchemist Holmes Young account. Something you will notice about my bag, we no longer have soul symbols. They're all gone. And I know what you're thinking. Congratulations, you did the glory challenges. You'd think that. You'd think that. Um, but no, no. Every single 121 hasn't been done. So, yeah. So basically what happened was I had this whole elaborate scheme planned out. I mathed out the essence I would need, I mathed out the soul symbols I would need, I mathed out the regression path and who I would build and what I would do with them. And I forgot one key detail. I forgot to calculate one very important thing. Stellar shards. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and cover every single recording I did today. Because again, this is a third voiceover episode we're doing this week. Because one, I don't feel like editing, and I need to edit if I wanted to put out a good video because I had to commentate over me upgrading every single tree level and every single void imprint like 7 times, and no one wants to hear that. So what I instead did is I chopped down the clips that I want to show you, edited out the upgrading part because that's annoying, and we're just going to commentate over it. And you're going to be happy about it. And it's going to be cool. One good thing that came from this, though, is that we have the T3 challenges done, as I already showed you. Very good, so that's more essence for whenever second trans comes at some point. And we also did the Sea Lands. Every bit of Sea Land 20 is done, which means if we head over to the Gate of the Void, we now have extra damage against every single faction, including Transcendence factions when we eventually get to Dominator. So that'll be good. But now we will turn it over to my past self and we will look at what we did. So here's me showing off my bag, like you do, and we head over to the Evolution Cube to do our regression of Star Alchemist Holmes Young. And here it is, quite scary, but look, hero list is full. What will Idle Zeros do? I don't know. Will I build a new hero? No, that's too much work. What I instead decide to do, in fact, throughout the rest of this video, what I decide to do is I eliminate every single 3-star I have to make more bag space. The 1 and 2 stars as well. So now those are gone, but that's not a huge problem because I have more in the bag. What is a huge problem, though, is that we go here to do it again, and the hero list is still full. So what's the plan? I spend gems to buy more bag space. And not to spoil anything, well, to spoil anything, something. By the end of the video, and in fact right now, that account has almost 400 bag space. That is how many gems I wasted filling up my bag with hero copies instead of just taking the time to forge new heroes because I'm impatient. There's more gems down the drain, right there, almost at 360. At this point, I was getting rather frustrated, but now we can regress Star Alchemist Holmes Young. I didn't realize that you get the Crystals of Transcendence back. I just sort of thought that you would get all the food back, and then it would stay a Transcendence hero. It would just at 5-star, but that's not the case. You get the Crystals of Transcendence back as well, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, here's what the math was. First, we regress Star Alchemist Holmes Young. That's 10. And then we build regular Holmes Young to T3. And then we regress again. Why don't we take him to T5 there? That's because at that point we don't have the essence to go all the way to T5. And so we regress Holmes Young in order to get the essence there. But anyway, that didn't work out. And I believe from there, after I build up my next hero. We're just going to skip to the Sealand footage now. This is Waldeck doing Sealand 20 at T5. So obviously he's not going to have much issue. But I realize that we will not have enough Stellar when I build up Vulcan. And then I decide to do the Sealands anyway, instead of just cutting like the 10 soul symbols I wasted at that point and saving up till when I had enough Stellar. Instead, what I decided to do is just waste them all anyway to do the Sealands. So now we have Sealand Dark, T5 Aspen. Not going to be a problem. I've always been super impressed with Aspen. He's a very decent main carry hero, actually. Base Aspen, I'm talking about. I've done him on 2 or 3 accounts now. He clears all of his game modes rather easily. He clears Aspen Dungeon. He's sort of like Tix, except he has self-sustain. So that's awesome. You have to worry about Healing Curse, though, with him. He clears Sealand 20 at V3 solo. I did that the other day on one of my accounts that I have not revealed yet. He clears Tower. He can do Mim Waves with, I believe, full tanky setup. You just wait for his self buffs to go, but he heals to max with most of his stuff, most of his attacks, so it's very nice. He's a very good hero. But moving on, here we have Tix doing his. He has a little bit of trouble here. None of these heroes had stones, by the way. They're just brute forcing it with raw stats from the T5. And when I say T5, I mean like T5 level 115. So we were like, I don't know, I think each level was getting to like the cost of an entire sphere, which is of course absurd. So I thought about swiping for that, but that would have turned out to be like, I don't know, at least a couple $100. So I decided we're definitely not going to do that. And then here's Vulcan. I have a B copy on Vulcan. He has skill damage reduction. So if I ever decide to make a Vulcan account, this would probably be it because I have a decent copy. So that's cool. I think it has B plus attack as well. So it's very decent for a B. And then, yeah, so this is where I realize I don't have enough Stellar. And so I waste more gems taking the Stellar off my current heroes. Yeah, as you can see. So that's going to be 2,000 gems. Regressing the Void Imprints on my Sahi tenants. And it turned out to be fruitless. So all in all, this video is just a complete disaster. And to top it off, actually, I had to split it into 2 separate videos. Because the same thing happened to me that happened to Barry, actually. When he was doing his, it was either that or the Cloud Island video that he did. But just in all the tediousness, I just got super anxious about it, and I literally had to take a break. I had to sit down and lay down on my couch for like 10 minutes. I just started to feel dizzy. Could not do it. It was a terrible feeling. But so the glory challenges almost put me in my grave, basically, which is kind of sad. But you know, what can you do? I take some time to compliment Vulcan's appearance. His face looks terrible if you let the animation proceed. But when he's just standing there in his like idle in battle form, he looks pretty decent. So that's cool. And here's me frantically looking through all my heroes for artifacts and some other stellar shards, but I can't find them, unfortunately. So here's where we take Vulcan into Sealand and let him do his thing. We give him melodic strings. And we put him in. And I didn't clear with EOS, because I know you clever viewers are going to be like, why didn't you just clear with EOS? EOS can clear Sealand. I didn't clear with EOS because I would need to regress EOS, and I don't feel like re-rolling for an attack stone. So I wanted to leave EOS the way she is. Vulcan's up in the air. I still don't know Vulcan's skill set. I've never read it because no one uses base Vulcan, so it's not really necessary. And then he's basically Russell in that he just nukes everybody after he's up in the air. I'm not sure who's better at Sea Land, actually, Vulcan or Russell. I've heard both of them are great at it. In fact, I know Russell's great at it because I cleared it with Russell. But I've never used like a regular void imprinted Vulcan. But so that's Vulcan clearing Sea Land Light. That's cool. And then lastly, we do Garuda in Forest. And that looks pretty dangerous. We skip and we fail. So we, of course, need to look at what happens. And it's kind of embarrassing. But I then realized that these guys reduce our damage. So I just needed to put on Tribute Reduction Purify. And then it's not a problem anymore. One thing that almost happened, a second disaster within this current disaster, is that I miscalculated the amount of Waldeck and Garuda copies I had. I was one short on both. And so what I actually have is footage of me looking in the relic shop, and I almost purchase Waldeck and Garuda copies. But then I realized you can get them from the guild store. So that was a crisis averted at the very last second there. I literally had my finger on the tap button, and then I just did a safety check in all the other stores just to make sure that I needed to do it if I was going to do that today. And I did not, so that's good. That's good. And so now we have a Tribute Reduce Purify on the Garuda. Very nice. And so now she's having no problem at all. Gilded Purple Fan keeping us alive. There we go. Lion coming in. There we go. All done. And so now we need to do Seal Land 19 and 20. 2 more gems, or gem purchases should do it. But, so I've already spoiled it, that we already have all the Seal Lands done. So now I have the extra damage in the Vortex, which means the next Sahi video, actually that's a lie, because monthly's reset today. And so the next Sahi video will be Broken Spaces, assuming the recording goes well, unlike the Aspen video. And then the next video after that will be Vortex. Then we're going to see if we can clear Vanquisher, which would be awesome. But we'll have to see what happens. T5 Garuda, making me a little nervous, but it's around 15 win that we get. So that's Seal Land 20 cleared there. And there's me showing off all the Seal Lands, of course. I'm quite happy about that. 389 bag space now. We started at like 349. So that's thousands of gems down the drain. The last of our soul symbols down the drain as well. In all the confusion, I also forgot to save back a trans puppet so that I can use that in Void Campaign to maybe get some use out of the core. But, you know, what can you do? Oh well, I'll get the trans puppet some other time. I can just regress HHA's imprints whenever I get him. But so now we just build back our giant killer Holmes Young. What I will probably do is I have 2 B- Holmes Youngs in the bag, as well as a C+. So what I think the plan might be is to just retire those, because they're not going to sell for very much. And then I will either put those towards Cloud Island materials or hold them back till the next Awakening Gala. I'm thinking Awakening Gala is the way to go. And it's been long enough since the last double retirement one that if they are going to do it again, I'm expecting one to come soon. So that would be quite cool if they did that. Get myself another B stone that I can hold back and use it on somebody. Not sure who yet. But Holmes Young being built back up. And then actually we don't need to watch this. I can just go back to my account now. So yeah, that's what we did today. We messed up the glory challenge. So now we need to wait for more soul symbols if we want to do those, which has a decent bit of stellar. I'm not going to need the potatoes, obviously, because we have way too many of those. But that's the account for now. If we go over to monthlies, we've got about half a day left. And so what we'll do is we will do Broken Spaces with Star Alchemist Holmes Young whenever that resets. So that should be fun or interesting. All of the above, hopefully. But that's going to be it for today. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you for watching.